in the semis. Let's see what Italo can do in reply to Filipe's first ride.
Oh.
And he is clicked into gear and looking sharp. Devastating second turn there, and again just attacks that lip.
Jeez.
Grew up surfing a right-hand point break.
Very similar to Snapper Rocks too, a very shallow sand bottom right, so that's where that backhand quickness was developed.
Just stalking these guys on Instagram, Peter, I saw conditions that Italo got at home that were pretty similar to this too, like a bit of wind, those crumbling lips.
Man, I mean that again, that transition through the top to bottom, but it's just the difference in speed that both these surfers carry against the rest of the field. Feels nice when you're winning.
And we now cast our attention back to the lineup because we got a huge heat on paper. Two of the best. Filipe Toledo getting things started here against Italo Ferreira. And Filipe, a nice wave to get started. Dominated this event a couple of years back. A huge victory in 2015, overcoming Julian Wilson in the final. And he was on his way to victory again in 2016.
Distinct speed advantage, and it comes from, again, how quickly they do the maneuvers, how quickly they get to the sections, but also keeping that flow at the same exact time. You know, this is a great first exchange, you know, and getting to watch the replay, it feels like Italo is going to get the advantage here, although they both look absolutely switched on, and that when you looked on paper, this was one of those heats you're like, ooh, this could be a fun one.
It was a couple of years back, the final in Portugal. We'll talk about that in a moment, but we've just seen Filipe utilise his priority. Swings that tail around, grabbing that rail for added control. Just constant speed as he hammers down the line, but just hits a bit of chop there and goes down.
Well, we'll see that. There is a bit of bump on the face. But yeah, okay, so then if you look at that and go back to that heat, I mean, of course, the final, you know, we're riding a swallowtail for, you know, generally you see those kind of go to those smaller wave boards.
Italo up once again, another devastating backhand turn to get things started. Big major turn on the outside. And you can tell he's just looking down the line. He's not ready to give up on this wave just yet. They hope for that connection. He might just find it. Hopping down the line. He knows he's got something special done already on the outside, so he wants to add some more points here. Pacing himself, loading up. And now he starts to put the foot down again. This wave, he's just hoping for one more section. It's not going to happen for him. He kicks out right in front of the crowd down there.
Watch out, Grummets. As you see, the wave spits as he takes off in this first section and just upside down. And then the carve, too. That wave flattened out pretty quickly, and he just whipped it back. This wave did go sleepy here from these moments, and, you know, thinking how much did he add down the line for really more of an adjustment to grab the ski? Not much, as the score's already in.
4.5 for this one.
But I mean, if you can get this inside section to load up for you, the judges will reward it, you know, but it has to be something where it really does truly stand up. We've still got a bit more tide right now. It's going to get lower as we go through, so that outside section is the steepest. But look at the technique here. Eyeing it up, and this is the difference on the backhand. You can go straight up and vertical. You get to see the transition in which you're going to land your board. He has honed those skills at his home.
Thomas Hermes.
Well, Thomas, it's only round 3 and you've already been so much fun to watch throughout this event. You know, we're talking about how tricky the lineup can be, but it just seemed like you pieced that together so well.
To get together, they're some of the most exciting surfers.
Look at this wedge. Oh, late drop here from Italo. He's in there somewhere.
Oh, he was still there.
He was still fighting that foam ball.
That's pretty amazing because that drop was so late.
What went wrong? That was a dream section. Such a good wave.
When you finally see it, it literally just pops right up on you.
Another wide one pushing away. Filipe's out there with priority. Italo sitting a little further down the line. And as a result, he's able to pick off this one, trying to get rid of a 4.5. Looks like he's got a bit more fire in the belly as he hammers down the line this time. Up into the pocket once again. Calls for the cab, and he'll head back to the takeoff zone. Probably not replacing that score. I just felt that big turn on the outside on his 4.5 was a lot stronger, Pete. And we're seeing some real quality waves now.
Look at the replay here. Again, nice straight up hit. Not quite, like you said, not quite as clean, but he did get a second nice vertical snap on that, so it probably could improve that 4.5 just slightly. We'll see. Judges are still waiting to make that call, and even on those inside sections were, again, spicy.
So he did up the ante. Meanwhile, out the back, the tide's starting to drop, and Filipe has found a barrel, and he'll punch through the curtain as it tries to clamp up. Looking for a 7.01. Again, he's found a wave that looks like for the moment it's going to go to sleep, but it could run again. And here he goes through this inside. And this guy can let go of multiple major turns. A better finish, a better ride. And certainly the requirement is within reach on that ride. A 7.01 is what he needs to turn it.
Very fortunate, too, that wave rebuilt, because, the barrel, it looked like it was just going to be gone and dissipated, but somehow that little wedge came back at him, and he rattled off a couple more moves, really to complete and solidify the score. The barrel was nice. As you see here, stalling, great technique. It wasn't super round like we saw from Italo's wave, so that does factor in. The actual, mass of the wave comes into play, and at this point you're like, uh-oh, what's going to happen here? But he saw something, and there it goes. Beautiful arc, and then the flow comes into play, gets the finish move. So really, again, solidifying that score. We're talking about comparisons. We've seen the 7.5 from Italo, the 6.17, the 6.67. Where does this fall into the fold? Well, now Italo will be, if he doesn't find a wave to get back into the first position, he'll be looking at that one wave.
Oh, that's what I was thinking. These guys, can lose a heat and having never really found that wave with the scoring potential, and you can go to bed and sleep pretty easy at night. But if you lose a heat when you've fallen on a jam like the one Italo had, you're going to be tossing and turning. And here we go, Filipe up again, trying to get rid of a 6.67. And you can see that wind just out the back. Italo taking off. Getting some cover up into the pocket. Dynamite off the top.
TNT. This is sick. I love when you see something on paper and it starts to unfold for you. Again, tide dropping out, swell holding. It's not easy either. It's a challenge.
They will do their hardest surfing, which is why we love them. Here's the replay of Italo's last ride.
Well, he did disappear from view, so he was behind it. Not a long barrel, but a little bit meatier of a wave than we saw from Filipe. Well enough. But so that's why I feel like this heat's pretty darn close.
Well, have a look at this. A huge backhand float. That's commitment.
Free falling 15 feet out of the air. Yeah.
Absolutely swung on a bomb. And I can imagine that having the jersey back on brought back a lot of nerves. I'm sure these guys are feeling the same thing. Filipe, though, looking pretty comfortable at this point in time. He has the lead. Set the fins free on that first turn. Trying to get rid of that 6.67 he had earlier on. This thing's going to go again. Have a look at how much he puts into hopping through to the inside here. This wave's starting to stand up. Filipe. Room to move on the inside. And he's going to head for the ski. Italo left out the back with 25 seconds to go, chasing a 7.11 prior to Filipe's last ride. Will he get the opportunity? 10 seconds remaining. One of the most deadly goofy footers in the mix. in danger of falling out of the draw. This heat's going to come to a close, and Italo won't get the opportunity. Filipe dodges a big bullet there, and he's moving on through to the 4th round. What a performance, and what a comeback, really.
Yeah, no, he definitely had to kind of persevere there and finding the way that got him there, the 7.93, looking at the barrel. So nice work there for Filipe.